councillors and officers and members of the gallery. Welcome to the council meeting of Wyndham City Council this Tuesday the 20th of April 2021. In the spirit of reconciliation, before we begin this meeting, I acknowledge the peoples of the Kulin Nation as the traditional owners of the land on which Wyndham is being built. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. Please stand for the opening prayer. We pray for guidance in the council's decision making to achieve the best outcome for the people of Wyndham. Councillors, this meeting tonight is being recorded and live streamed on the internet. The recording will be archived and made available on the council's website. Whilst all care has been taken to ensure that your privacy is maintained, please be aware that any presence of anyone in the gallery may be recorded. Item 2 on the agenda is apologies. Madam CEO, do we have any apologies this evening?
No, Madam Mayor, none this evening, thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, item 3 is declarations of conflicts of interest. Are there any councillors that wish to declare a conflict in tonight's agenda? Excellent, thank you, councillors. Item 4, acknowledgement of the CEO, Kelly Grigsby. The report is on pages 7 to 8. The recommendation's on page 7. Councillors, do I have a mover for this motion? Councillor Gilligan. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Maynard. Councillor Gilligan, as the mover of the motion, would you like to speak to it?
Sure, thank you very much, Madam Mayor. As an ambitious 23-year-old, some 5 years ago, I first came to know Kelly Grigsby. And I recall my first impression of her to be someone of a youthful sense, sporting Gorman with a lefty hipster vibe. An image quite often at odds with what you come to expect in local government of those at the top. It was that first impression that made me realise that extraordinary was to be the norm at Wyndham City. And so it was from 2016 to 2020, a council that emerged as the envy of the sector, a workplace where if you were anybody in local government, you wanted to make Wyndham City your home. A CEO who put her personal interests second as she took the fight to government on contentious projects that created enemies in the political sphere, respect in the bureaucratic wing, but most importantly, a community that will be forever grateful for the enduring decisions that were made. Kelly's brilliance to enact change through the bureaucracy, much to the disdain and dismay of politicians, demonstrated to me why Kelly was the best and still is the best local government CEO in the pack. Fundamental to those years was a culture of empowerment and of real transformative change. We won a National HR Award in recognition of the transformative change led by Kelly over finalists including the Queensland Police and the Department of Education in South Australia. That says it all, really. 600 leaders from the private sector and 3 tiers of government, all in a room in Sydney Exhibition Centre. And there is Wyndham City Council on the stage, highlighting all there is to offer in local government. But of course it was Kel, in her prime, spruiking why Wyndham City is the place to live, work and raise a family, in what felt like at the time a tourism ad that would have rivalled Tourism Australia's "Where the bloody hell are you" commercial. Across our lifetime, we rarely come across a leader who displays the sort of qualities and dedication that Kelly has brought to Wyndham. And on a personal level, I was carried away over the last 5 years by her power and potential as she encouraged those around her to be the best of themselves. Many will have their own memories of exactly what I mean. A unique character, so rare that it cannot be measured in any human resources test. The handwritten Christmas card or the chocolates to my home, the willingness to move heaven and earth to help achieve my goals, and the memory recall knowing that I love a good iced coffee. The ability to have a political yarn with a CEO that actually understands politics. It is much rarer than people realise. I believe a lot of my personal success in local government over these past years has in large part been driven by your willingness to empower me over those years. Sam, Hugo and I are so very grateful for all you've done for us over the past half a decade. Thank you. It's been an honour and a privilege to work with you. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Gilligan. Any other councillors wish to speak on this item this evening? Councillor Barrera.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't know whether Kelly remembers this, but I actually met Kelly on her first day at work at Wyndham City because the previous Director of Community Development thought that Kelly and I would get along quite well and took us for lunch at the Quantum Binner Cafe. I was immediately impressed by Kelly, and it was no surprise when she became CEO in 2015. A CEO like Kelly doesn't come around every day. Kelly has been both brave and bold in her role. Bold because she's always taken a fearless and a progressive approach to what has been delivered in spades, I think we'd all agree, for this LGA. I think we can say hand on heart that Kelly's leadership has transformed this city. It's been a pleasure to watch this growing success over the last 8 years, both from the perspective in my role as CEO of a community service organisation and more recently as a councillor for Wyndham City. There are many things that Kelly has achieved during her time as CEO, and we'd be here all night if we mentioned them all, but I'd like to highlight two. Firstly, her commitment to a social and economic inclusion agenda. Kelly's ability to engage with the research both locally and globally and then implement change at a policy level and put it into practice, put the spotlight on the importance of this agenda. Kelly was able to bring together business, community and government to lead a whole-of-community approach to supporting Wyndham residents to connect to community life but also to connect to work, or at the very least, to increase their opportunities to connect, particularly for those who face barriers to economic inclusion and risk being left behind, particularly in a municipality with such exponential growth. Likewise, in 2020, when inequality reared its head again during the COVID-19 pandemic, Kelly was at the forefront of innovative and agile thinking, implementing an effective model for dealing with a community that was disproportionately impacted by the pandemic, implementing measures that yet again would provide broad benefit across all communities. Genuine commitment to not leaving anyone behind. Kelly, I think it's safe to say that you've been the architect of a new narrative for this city and you've left big shoes to fill. It's rare to have had the privilege to work with someone like you. I've had that privilege from two very different angles. I thank you, I salute you, and most of all, I hope you enjoy the next adventure. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Barrera. Any other councillors wish to speak? Councillor Shaw.
If I can. I didn't think I'd get too emotional with Kelly going, but I have a bit. Kelly, a bit like Councillor Gilligan, has been a real mentor to me too these past 4 years. And not only that, she became a friend. And Kelly and I have had the odd sort of long lunch at Shadow Facts on the odd time, talking about council matters and other things. And we've certainly had our moments of our disagreements. You certainly know when you're not in Kelly's good book, she's got this way that she looks at you that I used to call the Darth Vader eyes, and she sort of looks right through you and tends to call you by your official name, Councillor Shaw. So I did hear that once or twice. But look, Councillor, I'm not going to go over ground that Councillor Gilligan and Councillor Barrera have actually said so well, but as someone who grew up in this city, it's completely we're doing things that I actually never thought we'd actually do. And it's through your leadership, through the leadership that you've given your executive team. And you should be so very proud of the legacy that you will leave here for this city, for this council. I know there's a lot of people upset that you're going. Certainly a lot of your staff are, that's for sure. But certainly I am too. But I wish you all the very best, every success, my friend. And I know you'll be fantastic in Hobart. It is Wyndham's loss. but it's certainly Hobart's game. But we will ensure that your legacy does continue on. Thank you, Kelly, for everything.
Councillor McIntyre.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I don't know how I can actually add to some of the eloquent and very emotional and heartfelt and contributions further. But I just wanted to say thank you for the valuable contribution that you've made across all of Wyndham, from my perspective as a community member to now being a member as a councillor. Your contribution has been heartfelt across the whole community in the way you've engaged, interacted, made those sort of far-reaching decisions, and as others have said, those sort of steps into what was not normally conceived of what would be a local government area. So I have no doubt whatsoever you'll be very sorely missed, both in relation to the wider community and within this organisation. And I suppose I just wanted very succinctly to say good luck with all your endeavours, and as Councillor Shaw has said, you know, it's very much like Wyndham's loss is Hobart's gain, but good luck.
Thank you. Councillor Maynard and then Councillor Marcus.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I never thought I'd actually be speaking in this context, but in 2014-15, the decision to appoint a CEO, I believe, was a unanimous and slam dunk decision. Who would have known over the years what this council would have achieved or has achieved, and the barriers that we've overcome and the leadership that has been provided in this sector, and it's come from the top. If there's problems, they stop at the top. There hasn't been, and I think that the leadership that Kelly has shown and the executive has shown has been exemplary. Councillor Shaw did say that when you're in the bad books because you get the formal title. There's a lot to be said about the movie The Wrath of Khan. Certainly, The Wrath of Grigsby is probably a little bit more. I hope they don't make a movie about it. But in the context of the ability to play in the grey area, and we've had conversations with councillors at other councils, and I understand the operational side of it, but quite clearly operational becomes our domain in the sense that when things go south. And through a mutual respect, this council has been allowed to play in that grey area. And I think that's one of the reasons why we've been able to make the decisions that we have because of that ability. And I thank you for that, Kelly. I just hope that, I don't know if we can ever build a bridge between Victoria and Tassie, but there's a lot to be said about that. However, I really do hope that the City of Hobart know what they're in for. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Maynard. Councillor Marcus. Sorry.
Well, Kelly, I'll tell another little story. We went to Canberra, and you and I were sitting in the foyer waiting to go and see a politician, and then we get a phone call to say she's not coming out to see us. So Kelly and I thought, well, what do we do next? So off we went. And I said, Kelly, what will we do about it? Do you want me to do something? Kelly said, yes, go for it, Heather. And so we went for it. And the next day we were in so much trouble. They got Kelly and I, and they sat us in the foyer outside of another politician's room, and as though we were naughty little girls. And then they took us in and spoke to us harshly. So, Kelly, we've had some good times. We've had some bad times, but I look on life as a journey, and I think you've had a very good journey here in our city of Wyndham. And I just want to say I wish you all the best for you to continue your next journey in life. Thank you, good luck, and my best wishes. Thank you.
Councillor Ramesh.
Thank you. I don't have big words to say tonight, but I feel like I cannot not say good luck and thank you for all your contribution to the Wyndham City and this wonderful community. My time working with you and getting to know you has been unfortunately very short. And from the little time that we've been together, it's clear that there's a lot more to be learned from working alongside you, and that you're leaving behind some large shoes to be filled by someone that will replace you. I wish you all the best in your role in Hobart and expect to see some great things to come from that city.
Councillor Hill.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Just something very quick. Over the past 9 years, as a resident of Wyndham City, then a portfolio members under Kelly's leadership for 6 years, and then councillors right now, and Kelly certainly has shown her capability in bringing this city to the next level. Thank you for that. One of the most memorable time was during COVID, and I was on a Zoom meeting, and Kelly was there quite a few times, and I just feel very touched that our CEO actually on that ground level working with meeting the community members, working 7 days. So Kelly is community-minded and working really hard. And thank you so much for always return my calls. And wish you all the very best settling into your new role. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you.
Any other councillors? Excellent. I'll just say a couple of closing remarks. Wyndham has been extremely privileged to have had Kelly as a leader at the helm for the past 6 years. Her work over the time has demonstrated how deeply invested she is in our community. Her empathy and ability to always see 10 steps ahead has positioned Wyndham as sector leaders and respected partners in the relationship with federal and state governments. Kelly has provided the organisation with a robust and resilient framework on which to build for the future, a future that will see our community grow to more than 500,000 by 2040. The Wyndham 2040 vision provides a clear direction for Council as we strive to deliver on the community's hopes and dreams for the future. Kelly leaves behind a legacy of a deeply committed workforce that puts our community at the centre of all we do. On a personal note, I would like to thank Kelly for the tireless support she has provided us as councillors during her time as CEO and, of course, before that as the Community Development Director. I count myself fortunate to have worked with such a passionate and visionary leader, and I'm grateful for the things that I have learned. I wholeheartedly support tonight's recommendation, and I know I speak for all the councillors when I say thank you, Kelly, and we wish you all the best in Hobart. Councillors, I now put the motion to a vote. All those in favour? Against? The motion is carried. Thank you again, Kelly.
Is there any opportunity for an alternate?
Thank you, councillors, and thank you again, Kelly. Councillors, can I have a mover to close the meeting to the public in order for Council to consider confidential business? This is item 5 on the agenda. Councillor Maynard, do I have a seconder? Councillor Ramesh, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that pursuant to section 66(1) and 2A of the Local Government Act 2020, this meeting of Council be closed to members of the public in order for Council to discuss confidential business.
Thank you. And a seconder, Councillor Ramesh, on that motion. Thank you. Councillors, do I have... I put the motion to a vote. All those in favour? Against? The motion is carried. Thank you. Thank you, council officers. I'll ask you to all step out. Yeah, and mics off, please. Councillors and officers, item 6 on the agenda is close of meeting, and I declare this meeting closed at 7:29. Thank you, councillors, and thank you, officers.